Okay. Hello, this is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm delighted to welcome Jack. How are you, man?
How's the crack?
And James of Hellripper. Respect, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I love the mug, actually.
I love the cup. I was going to say I have the same one.
Easter eggs, yeah?
Indeed, yeah.
Free cups.
I have a Metal Cell podcast cup. I'll send it on to you, man. There's a few of them gathering dust.
You get a nice firm grip on that one, actually, Richie. You got a good cup of tea into that.
You get a good cup of tea, man. What do you usually drink, James? Are you tea or coffee, man?
Yeah, tea. No coffee at all. I'm not a big fan of coffee at all. Just a normal tea. Nothing fancy.
Fueled by tea.
Fueled by tea, yeah. That's the Irish way, man. Barry's tea and Lyons tea. Can't beat it. So you've had an interesting year, to put it mildly, James. What are your thoughts on it at the moment, since it's kind of ground to a halt?
I mean, it was just, we planned to release the album in May. The album's been done for almost a year now, about 9 months now. And it was planned to be released in May. We were supposed to have a few dates throughout the year. We had a European tour with Midnight for next month in November. A few UK dates. Metal Days. We were supposed to play Metal Days and a couple other festivals during the summer. And of course, everything just went on fuck. And I mean, I don't really have any thoughts. I mean, it's happened. I mean, everyone's in the same boat, and I mean, as long as everyone's okay, that's the main thing. Yeah, we can get back to doing gigs. I can release the album. Yeah, like later on and stuff. So I mean, everyone's in the same boat, and I'm sure everyone's got similar thoughts. It's quite shit, but.
So the new album is The Affair of the Poisons. We can officially say that now. Mm-hmm. Is there 8 tracks on it, James?
8 tracks, yeah. Just under half an hour, I believe. 29 minutes, I think.
Oh, nice.
The usual running length for you.
Yeah. Any longer than that, usually, and I start to get bored myself. So
nice. It's a nice time, though. Just 30 minutes of an assault.
Yeah. I think that's a good time for this kind of music. I mean, obviously, if you're going, of course, like the stoner and doom and stuff, of course, you need more than half an hour. But
of course, yeah, for one song.
Yeah, exactly. I think speed metal, about 30 minutes is probably the most ideal, 30, 35.
We can all respect that, man, since our backgrounds are very much that way.
Yeah.
How did you get started in this, James? Maybe just fill in listeners there, first of all, about where you came from, kind of growing up, a bit about yourself first.
Yeah, so, I mean, I started playing guitar when I was properly I started playing guitar when I was maybe around 13 or so. That's when I really started to get into metal. I mean, before that, I was kind of learning how to play, like, classic rock, like AC/DC and stuff, like, just kind of messing around. But once I discovered like Metallica and Megadeth and stuff when I was about 14, 15, I think, 13, 14, 15, that's when I started properly playing guitar, like learning thrash, speed, and improving my playing. And just got into metal, tried to get like bands together with my friends throughout the years, like.
Where was this now, James? It's Aberdeen.
Okay. Yeah, in Aberdeen. Okay. Just never worked out. Being young and stuff, like when I was like 16 and stuff, you don't really know much people. So it's particularly hard to find a drummer.
We all laugh at that one. It's a recurring thing.
It's a very common problem. So we a couple of friends of mine try to get some bands together throughout the years, and for whatever reason it didn't happen. And then when about 2014 I started Hellripper and decided just to do it myself, because if I waited any longer I wouldn't do anything if I tried to wait for other people and stuff, because at the time I wasn't really involved in the scene. I was just kind of starting to get involved.
That's interesting.
So
that you weren't involved in any kind of scenes growing up.
Yeah, I think the main problem, I believe, like the main venues were like age restricted. So in order to get to a local gig, you had to be 18. And I started getting involved in the scene when I was about 18, 19, I think. But yeah, so I think at the time I started Hellripper, I was just kind of getting involved in the scene. I didn't know much people, and I thought I might as well just do things on my own.
Yeah.
And it grew from there, really.
Is it true as well that it was your uncle's records that you got into kind of a lot of? That's a cool story. I don't know where I picked that out of, but
yeah. I think I said it in an interview once. I can't remember, but my uncle, he was into like all this sort of stuff in the 80s, and my mum like showed me his records that he had kept it at my grand's house when I was a kid. So I was I don't know how old I must have been, like between 5 and 10. I've got no idea when I first like decided to like look at them out of curiosity, and there was stuff like Judas Priest, Ozzy, Black Sabbath, like Dio era as well, Discharge, Motorhead.
Sweet.
What else was there? Just loads of stuff. There's a lot of like obscure 80s punk stuff. A lot of like 7-inch singles, you know, like the new wave of British heavy metal and stuff.
A real treasure trove then.
I actually can't remember all that's in there. There's probably like a few really cool things in there. But yeah, that kind of like got my interest in music. I mean, I wasn't a fan of them straight away, of course. I just kind of got me into music. And then, yeah, just over the years, I kind of like my interest grew in music, and I started going back and discovering Judas Priest and all that kind of stuff, the stuff that he had in his collection. So yeah, that was cool.
It was, yeah. And what was the first gig you were brought to, or did you actually go to a proper gig now?
First proper gig I went to was when I was 15, was Airborne and Black Spiders in Glasgow. Yeah, that was the first gig. And I think the second gig may have been, I went to see Airborne and Enforcer later that year. Okay. That might have been the second gig. I'm not too sure, actually.
Yeah. So the scene in Aberdeen, is there much of a scene there, or is it you find yourself having to travel a lot to Glasgow and Edinburgh? They seem to be the main two.
Yeah, since I'm up in the Highlands now, I moved away from Aberdeen about 3 years ago, I can't remember. But when I was moving out of Aberdeen, the scene was kind of declining. In about 2014 to 2017, I would say, Aberdeen had like a really cool scene, and it was growing. There was a lot of bands coming out. There was a lot of cool bands coming to Aberdeen. Like even like kind of, you know, like smaller bands like, I say smaller, but like Infernal Sea and stuff. Basement Torture Killings and all that.
Oh, I heard of them.
Yeah, they would come to Aberdeen, so it was like not just local bands. There were never really much big bands would come to Aberdeen. You'd get Iron Maiden would come every year.
And it sounds a bit like us. We're a bit starved down here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the scene was kind of growing. Like there was a good punk scene, a really good punk scene, and a lot of metal kind of happening. And then things started to go downhill after like the main venue got a noise complaint and was forced to shut, like basically straight away. And yeah, then there was kind of there were still a couple of venues, but the heart of the scene was kind of at this venue. So
yeah, it usually is, isn't it?
Yeah, so things just started to kind of go downhill from there. But like I say, I haven't been in Aberdeen really for 2-3 years, so I can't really comment what it's like right now. But when I left Aberdeen, it was kind of declining. But yeah.
And when was that? Had you started the Hellripper process at that stage? How did the idea of the actual name and the type of music, how did that come about, James?
I'm I'm just a fan of the kind of music. So it was just simply I wanted to do that kind of thing. At the time, I had started another band with a friend. It was just like a 2-piece. He was learning to play drums, and I was going to do guitar. And we kind of we thought we'd get involved in the punk scene. So like the original inspiration for that band was like kind of a mixture between like hardcore, like Black Flag type stuff, and kind of like Dark Throne, like the punk era Dark Throne. So that was kind of like a band that we were involved in the scene with. We managed to get a band together for that. But around the same time, I was thinking of doing like a more thrash project, like Toxic Holocaust, Venom, all that kind of stuff. All the Sodom, Creator, all the stuff that you can hear in Hellripper. I was kind of like I was really into that, and no one else that I knew was into that kind of style. So I thought I might as well just try and record things at home, see how that goes. It's kind of like a hobby. And I was like, I had my main band at the time, which was the one that I was in, Rats of Reality, with my friends. So we were playing shows with that, and I thought I can have like Hellripper as a side thing. I can just do that at home. There's no rush to release anything. It's just kind of a fun thing to do at home. And of course it's grown since then, and I start to enjoy it more than being in an actual band. I like the process more.
And are those, James, the lads that play live with Hellripper? Are they the lads who used to be in?
A couple of Peter on drums, he played. No, I'm getting confused. So the first lineup had Clarky, the bassist of Rats of Reality. He played bass for Hellripper live at the start, and then he decided he didn't want to do it anymore. And Peter, who was on drums for Rats of Reality, replaced Clarky on bass.
Okay.
Then Peter got replaced by Clarky again. So now
it's a carousel.
Yeah, it's just those two replaced each other. So yeah, at the moment, Clarky is the bassist in Hellripper, and I've got two guys. One guy, Joseph, who played in a couple of indie bands in the local Aberdeen scene. I was looking for a new guitarist, and I just saw him like kind of posting on Facebook and stuff, and he liked Motorhead, he liked Metallica from what I could see. So I just asked if he wanted to give it a go, and he's a great guitarist and stuff, so that worked out very well. And Max, he's actually based down in Brighton. He's on drums, so that's a bit of a cunt for traveling.
Yeah.
So, I suppose there's a lot of advantages, and maybe there's a few disadvantages as well of being a solo musician. The advantages obviously probably be the personal connection to the audience and the creative control, which is crucial, to get your thought process down into musical ideas. Do you work well under that kind of system, James?
Yeah, I think so. It means I can kind of do whatever I want. There's no deadlines. I don't have to run ideas past anyone.
Yeah.
So like if I come up with an idea that I really like, I don't need to run it past anyone, and if they don't approve it, then it gets binned or whatever. So I get to do kind of what I want. I've got no deadlines. It's a lot more convenient since I can just do everything at home. Like I can just come into this room and record anything I want, write anything I want. It's just the process. I think it took a bit of getting used to at the start, but once you like kind of learn how to do things and how the best way to do things, I think I definitely prefer it. And of course I can speak to people directly on social media. People know it's me.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
So and you record some of your music yourself at home, do you? Even like the releases you've done? Yeah,
everything I've ever done with Hellripper has been done at home.
Jesus.
The first couple of releases were done in my bedroom at my parents' house.
Amazing.
And then, when I moved houses, I kind of tried to get a little studio room made up. It's been.
How do you gain that knowledge? Is that through maybe watching tutorials on YouTube? I'm trying to guess here. Like,
Yeah, for the most part, it's trial and error. I was just, I got a microphone and an audio interface a while back, and I just thought, let's see what I can do. I just started like messing around with effects and stuff, like how does reverb work? What's the good way to mic a guitar amp? Like, just, it took me years to like actually get anything listenable. And of course there were like tutorials and stuff on YouTube, but mainly through trial and error, because I've got like no patience. Like, I'll be watching a YouTube video and I'm like, I just want to try something. Like, I can't be bothered like watching. So it's just easier for me personally to like try stuff. And yeah, it took years, probably 2, 3, 4 years to get something that was like even remotely good, or like sounded like proper. I mean, before it just kind of sounded like a bad demo. There was like there was no panning, like everything was just down the center or whatever. Years of that before learning how to layer stuff and whatever.
You still kind of get the cavernous thing though in your recordings, which is nice. So it doesn't sound like you know, that it's recorded at home. I do try and make it sound like a full band playing, and I like to try and get it to sound like I mean, I don't want it to sound like really old school. I want it to try and get like a mixture of like the old school sound and like a modern approach to that. I think you've cracked that balance for sure.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, I've got limited like resources and limited knowledge, so I'm learning and learning. So I think, I mean, if you listen to the Hellripper releases chronologically, I think you can hear an improvement in the sound of each one.
Yeah.
There's a lot more stuff I was able to do, a lot more ideas that I was confident in pulling off and stuff, like even just little things that people might not hear and stuff. It's just
so did you have to take on the whole rhythm side of it as well, James, as in programming drums? Jesus, that must have been a nightmare, that.
It was just at the start, it was difficult at the start, like everything, just learning how to do everything like at once. But after doing it for a while, like, I don't know, I just really enjoy it now. And it gets easier, just like with most things. The more you practice, the more, because I sunk like hours into it. Like, I spent ages like trying to perfect things. Like for the first Hellripper EP, I actually wrote and recorded what was supposed to be the first Hellripper EP about 2 years prior. And it just sounded shit. So I deleted that and thought, I can't be bothered.
And what age were you then, James? 2014, was it? No.
2014 was when I started writing the EP that was released. I think it was probably 2012, 2013 that I started doing the first EP that was supposed to be Hellripper that got deleted. So maybe 17, 18, I think.
Wow.
Something like that.
That's incredible.
I was doing a bit of research there earlier, and I was like looking at all the output, because you had the Lord Rot thing as well, you know. And I was like, Jesus, this guy must be around for years. And then I see the age, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, the first couple of years when I was finally happy with what I could manage was like I was getting all my ideas out. So I got Lord Rot, Lock Howl. I released a few EPs with Rats of Reality, and then Hellripper. So I think it's 2015 and 2016. There's like a load of releases. There was 3 Hellripper releases in 2015, a Lord Rot EP 2015, a Lock Howl EP, and a Rats of Reality EP 2015.
Christ.
So like that was like I got as much as I could done at that point, and then over the years I've kind of tried to. I mean, I think I'm like more of a perfectionist now, like being more choosy with stuff and
yeah. I suppose because there's more people listening to it as well.
I guess so. I think it's also because since I was like learning at the start, I was just kind of excited to get something done. Like, but now I know that I can do all that stuff, so I'm trying to like just improve on what I'd done before. Whereas before, yeah, I was just I had a lot of ideas and wanted to get everything out there. And
do you know,
want
Jack?
People to hear stuff.
Do you know, Jack? You've been in bands since I don't know how long. Probably
not too long.
Not too long, but like
5 years. Yeah,
you're definitely looking at, we'd say, what James did from your own point of view now, because like, I mean, you have the experience of the bands you have with Croza, Galloc. So taking on a solo album by yourself, how daunting is that?
It's very daunting, and yeah, I know this because I'm possibly considering doing it as well. That's why
I asked.
Yeah, I was so interested in what you're doing, James, because yeah, I do some recording myself at home, and like you said, you know, you get a mic and an interface and start off and pick things up as you go. And you know, you meet so many people along the way that, you know, you can, where I would fall down on the technical side, you can get people to help out. But it's something I'd love to do, to have that kind of creative control on, even just to do one album of it, see where it goes and see where that creative control brings you and what actually comes out, and see if that process is more enjoyable or more relaxing than, you know, than the band dynamic, because it is completely different, you know. The negotiating and waiting for people, and even your own commitments can change, and you mightn't have as much time to give, which can be frustrating as well.
Yeah, exactly. I would definitely recommend it. I mean, if not just for like the learning experience, the more you can learn on your own. I mean, just I've had to learn like basic graphic design and stuff not even related to the music. Those are the things. It comes in really handy for all sorts of reasons. I mean, it's really helpful to record at home. You don't need to spend money on a studio for starters, so that saves you a couple hundred, depending on how much you want to spend on your recording. It can save you a couple hundred, thousands on the actual recording. No rehearsal, no spending money to get together in a rehearsal space.
Not humans.
Exactly, yes. I would definitely recommend it. I mean, just because it's something you can do on your own as well. I mean, if you've got nothing else to do, you're at home, you can try stuff and learn stuff gradually. But you don't need to sink all your time into it immediately and it become the main thing. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. And yeah, if you need any tips or whatever, feel free to like ask me if you've got.
Cheers, man. You might regret that.
No, not at all.
You were saying as well. Like, I suppose a lot of a major disadvantage is the actual time consumption in relation to trying to organize everything, get your songs, your promos, the whole lot. How did you find that? I suppose there's a lot of frustrations come true, and then suddenly you get to the other side and go, yeah, it's worked because of the product alone. Then you get some good positive feedback as well, James.
I think, at the start, I had no idea about promo, all that kind of shit. So I think
that's a different art in itself. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, like I said, when I was doing Hellripper, I had no idea. I was just like kind of doing what I wanted. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to release something. I just stuck songs out on YouTube and Bandcamp, like without any promo, without anything, and I kind of just sent like a Dropbox link to various zines, websites, and stuff. That was literally all the promo. And then more people got into it, and you learn. You actually have to do promo. You actually need to learn how to write an email correctly. Just some stuff that you don't think of, and or you think that would be like easy, but
the social media stuff.
Yeah, social media as well. Yeah,
nightmare. Like when you say, we'll just take for example, Coagulating Darkness. How hard was it for you maybe to judge just the level of success of that in regards to where you were, and were you able to kind of follow it in so far as maybe the way people were giving it positive reviews and just kind of way it's spread outwards?
Yeah, I think I can't remember like exactly around that time, but I still think it's quite hard to judge success, like, because there's so many like different factors. Just with being more prominent on, say, Spotify, like, or Bandcamp or whatever, it's difficult to take into consideration whether these platforms were used at the same amount a couple of years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Because now my Spotify streams, for example, are a lot higher than 3 years ago. But obviously, I think a lot more people use Spotify, for example, now. So it's difficult to judge in terms of that. But I guess you notice like a kind of some more Facebook likes. Yes, I mean,
yeah,
people
more messages
and stuff. Yeah, I guess it's just kind of like that. But with Hellripper, it's been kind of gradual, I think. So I haven't been like bombarded like one day everything. Like, I got 5 million messages or whatever. It's kind of been a gradual thing. So it's difficult to notice like just how much things are growing and or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to measure success. I mean, the main thing for me is that I enjoy the music. Like, if I'm happy with the album,
it's usually
I'm happy, and then hopefully people like it.
And that's the beauty of like what you're saying of how the band started, that like you were in a band with other people and you had this as your home thing, as your passion, that had no rush to release stuff. It didn't have that pressure. So the fact that is the thing that's grown is pretty cool, because it started from such a genuine place.
Yeah, and it's basically just the same since then. That's why I don't want to change things. Like,
yeah,
that's why everything's still done at home. I'm the only one in charge of social media. I still ship out all the merch and stuff.
Actually,
yeah, I know that. I
bought a T-shirt and I got a shipping confirmation about half an hour later.
Yeah, I was on my way to the post office just when you bought it.
You'll get one off me as well, don't worry.
I got the goat one as well.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Like, I think probably for you, James, and this is why I'm asking kind of how difficult was it to gauge success, was probably when you formed the live aspect of Hellripper. Can you give us some feedback on maybe the first few shows and audience reactions? Were you anxious, first of all, going into them?
I'm trying to remember the first few shows. I believe I had no intentions of playing live at first. It was just supposed to be a studio thing, but I got introduced to a drummer who had played in a few death metal bands and stuff, a really good drummer, and he said he'd be interested in doing that sort of stuff. He'd been out of the scene for a while and he'd be keen to start, and I was like, okay. And then I got a couple of my friends on guitar and bass, and we decided to try and do some local shows, just at a local venue. There wasn't a lot of attendance or anything. It was just, it didn't really feel any different to what I'd been doing with Rats of Reality. Like, it was the same venues, the same scene and stuff. So it was like no more anxious than a regular show, like, at the time. And yeah, we just played, most of our shows were just in Aberdeen, like just local shows in Aberdeen. And then I think we played one in Edinburgh. And then we got an offer to play in Romania at the end of 2017, which was really cool. And that was kind of like a massive step up for me, because I'd never played like outside the UK. I played locally, like quite a lot. So it was like, that was when things live wise, that was when like I noticed people were kind of paying attention, I think.
Yes.
When we got offered a show in Romania, and they were kind enough to have us on a really cool festival bill. And yeah, but at the start, it was just kind of like regular local shows. It was nothing really.
Yeah. Do you enjoy playing live in relation to? Which would you prefer playing live the whole time, or would you like just the comfort of being
Oh,
your own?
Definitely just studio. It's my favorite part, like the writing and stuff. I prefer that 100 times more. But I do enjoy playing live, of course. It's great to play shows.
And of course, Jack saw you live.
Yeah. I stumbled across you on a Roadburn. Was it last year? 2019 on the Thursday night, the warm up. It was kind of like warm up, whatever. But I hadn't heard you. So like my only impression of you was that seeing you that time, and I fully thought that you were let's say a regular touring type band, because he had such a dynamic, and it was so natural. But that's I suppose the fact that you played with a lot of those lads in the past.
That was actually the second show of that lineup.
Okay.
The drummer, Max, he only joined a couple of months prior, and Joseph and Clarky, they had been in the band at different points, so they'd never played together before. And then we had a tour. I had a tour booked, and then we got offered like Roadburn and stuff, and so that was like our first shows, Roadburn and stuff like that.
You were sharp. Like I remember coming in and saying, I'll wander in and see what's on, and the first thing I see is the Goat. Hellripper Scotland. I was like, we're sticking around here anyway. See what goes down. But it was the perfect thing for that evening.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. It was a fun. It was a fun one.
What was the crowd like, lads, for that gig? Was it a nice crowd?
Yeah.
A guy got on stage and tried to beat me up.
What? No way.
Did you not see that? There was a guy who was drunk.
How did I miss that?
He was at the start of he was at the front of the stage, like right up against the stage. And he kept like shouting stuff, and we thought he was just like taking the piss and whatever, so it was fine. And then at one point he got on stage, and we thought, oh, he's just like stage diving, that's fine or whatever. And then he got me in a headlock, like during the song. It's so ridiculous. It was during one of the songs, and I'm like playing a guitar part. It's like it was Conduit Closing, which is a really fast guitar thing, and he had me in a headlock, and we were on the ground, and he's whispering in my ear, "Can I hit you? Can I hurt you?" or whatever.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm sitting there, I'm still playing. I'm like, no. And then
my God.
He got off the stage. It was like, what the fuck is going on?
Am I right in saying that, like, I think you didn't need a ticket for Roadburn to get into that gig?
I think so. I think that was it.
Did they have maybe separate tickets or something as well? So there might have been a few local ruffians made their way in for that one.
I can't remember. I think it was free entry. I can't remember.
I think it was something like that. So you might have got a few idiots coming in off the street, like.
That was fun. I mean, it was fun.
It's still thrash, I suppose.
I never actually got hurt, so it's fine. But.
Good story too. Like,
it is a great story, man. I don't think you can beat that, or can you?
It was just so strange. It was like the way he was genuinely whispering in my ear, "Can I hurt you?" I was like, "No."
That's just fucking mental.
People are weird.
And then Peaceville came into your world. How did that come about?
I just got an email one day from Peaceville. I think it was during that tour. I think it was actually probably on the way from Roadburn to London. We were stuck in traffic, and I checked my emails, and it was an email from Peaceville. And I thought, sick. I believe Paul from Peaceville, who's in charge of Peaceville, he was turned on to the music by a friend of his, and he just emailed saying, what are your plans? Are you doing an album or anything? If so, we might be interested. And it went from there, really. And it was really cool, because of course I'm a big fan of a lot of the Peaceville releases throughout the years.
Of course, yeah.
Dark Throne and stuff on there.
Dark Throne, Bloodbath, The Fathomless Mastery. That was one of the first death metal albums I ever bought. So that's cool. Yeah, Dark Throne, of course.
Bloodbath, Autopsy. There's just so many, man.
Autopsy, yeah.
And like, how does that deal work for you then? You still have creative control. Are you now under, as you said yourself, you can take your time over everything, but do you think, is there an added pressure now to you?
Yeah, I've got complete creative control. Like with the new album, they basically just said email, send it to us when you're done.
Cool.
And that was basically how it worked. And then, I spoke with them, and they said, like, as long as it doesn't take me like 10 years to release an album, then it's fine. They kind of understand as like how it works. I mean, it's so. I mean, I guess there's a little bit more pressure, but I mean, it's still not really deadlines or anything. I mean, I should be releasing an album in 10 years. I mean, so it's like a reasonable deadline.
Do you sign a contract for more than one album then?
Yeah, it's two albums, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, your creative outlay is incredible anyway. So I just, and a lot of your releases, James, as well, you seem to collaborate with a few people. Can you just maybe name check a few of them for us and give us a bit brief back? So, Marianne is one of them.
Marianne, that's my girlfriend. She does she does a lot of backing vocals for me, like shouts in the background. She does a lot of the Tom Araya type screams.
What? I'd noticed those, all right, man. I was like, how the fuck's he doing that?
If you listen, I can't remember what song, Headless Angels from the last EP. She's doing the
outro thing, is it?
Yeah, that's I've got
Dave Ingram as well.
Dave Ingram, that was our drummer on the our live drummer, Callum. He's friends with him, and I've asked him if he wants to do something on the album, and he said yeah. I was like, oh, fair enough. He can do this little vocal part here.
Jesus.
And I got a few of my friends to do some guitar solos, mainly backing vocals, guitar solos. Just a few of my friends, Clarky, Joseph, and Mark. They've done that, and I usually use for my releases an artist called Skav Valder from Iceland.
Class. He's from Iceland, is he? Yeah,
Iceland. Yeah, I think he's done almost all of my releases artwork. I found out about him on Facebook, like just browsing through when I was looking for something for the first EP, and I came across his page and liked the stuff, and since then
it's perfect, man. It works with the music.
It is. It's cool to have a kind of a running team as well through the releases.
Yeah, exactly. He knows what he's doing. He's a good artist, and he comes up with ideas that like I wouldn't have like thought of, that are so cool and stuff. That's like my regular collaborators, I believe.
What about who do you approach then for mastering?
Mastering, I got this time around, it was Brad Boatwright from Audio Siege. He's done a few albums that I'm like a big fan of. The last EP was Joe Grind. And
is that Toxic Holocaust, is it?
Yeah, I mean, he's done so much like cool stuff on mastering and stuff and that, so he done a great job there. And before that, it was Damien Herring from Horrendous, who done Coagulating Darkness, and he done a great job again. They've all done a great job, and I'm just kind of using different mastering engineers to just to see what they bring.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you're in that position to do that.
Just to see. They've all done an amazing job, and I'll probably use them all again at some point. It's just. Yeah, I thought, I'll get Joe Grind involved, whatever. Then I'll get
as well.
I'll just see what happens. It's cool to work with different people, see what they can bring.
Definitely.
You can hear the subtle differences in the sounds.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted a more in-your-face approach on this album. So Brad Boatwright, he does loads of. He's done a lot of stuff like that. For example, the Chemistry of Consciousness by Toxic Holocaust. That's got like it's just a fucking straight in your face kind of sound, and he's done a lot of albums like similar to that. And same with Joe Grind, kind of. And with the first album, Damien Herring, he's got kind of a more like subtle approach. It's like he gives things a lot of space and stuff. You can hear that on the Horrendous like releases. So clear, so whether like so good sounding. So like they've all got their different specialties. And yeah, it was just like exploring, see what would happen if I brought one like these guys in.
We're both like really intrigued, and massive thumbs up from both of us. Like you're doing all the right things.
Thank you.
And you know, steadily moving upwards. I think it's amazing. But like, have you encountered people along the way that have helped you in relation to advice or influenced you to some degree, or is it just all your own steam?
I don't know about like influence. I mean, influence can come in like really subconsciously and really subtly, I suppose. So like every time I hear like a new band and stuff, I guess that I like, that kind of probably makes its way in there. But yeah, of course, loads of people along the way have helped. All the labels that I've worked with, like throughout the years, a lot of fans. I mean, everyone that shares the albums or whatever on social media, or comes to a show and like shares it with their friends and stuff. Like every one of them helps in some way. Like, and of course, I mean, a couple of people. Ben from Orange Goblin, he was. Ben. He got involved. He let us open up for them at the Electric Ballroom in London, which was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, that exposes you to like a bigger audience, and a different audience as well, because of course Orange Goblin are completely different to us. So guys like that have helped a lot. Our booking agents, of course, have helped. But yeah, the labels, I would say, they've all done a great job. Like everyone that's been involved really has done such a good job in like helping the band.
Because there's a lot of sharks as well in the scene, you know. It's you've avoided a few of the pitfalls, but definitely as you get more exposure and as you climb further up the ladder, I just kind of go, I hope you've got a good crew, and Peaceville. Peaceville is a nice backing anyway, straight away. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, it sounds like, you obviously have your head screwed on. But I was just, one question I had was, when did the booking agent come into it for you? Like, were you playing shows for a while and you decided to work with them, or did they get onto you, or what was that process like?
So that's a weird one, because it was basically I'd been in touch with the booking agent company. I inquired if Midnight needed a support band for their tour. They were doing a European tour in the one last year, and I emailed our booking agent, and he said no, but he really liked the music, and then got us on his festival that he books. And then by chance, we played London later that year, and there was like some sort of industry meeting happening very close to our venue, and they stumbled in just halfway through our set, just by like pure chance. And afterwards he was like, we got like speaking, and I guess like became friends and stuff, and yeah, it kind of went from there. And after a while, I was trying to book the tour, because the tour for last year, 2019, I was booking the tour, and he just said, I'll help you out. I think Roadburn's looking for a band for the warm-up show, if you want to play that on the way. I was like, yeah. And Midnight were playing in London, and I think he had a hand in that as well, because he's their booking agent, I'm pretty sure. he was involved there. And yeah, things went well from there, and he said, we'd like to represent you at some point. And then, yeah, just came from there. And yeah, they've been a big help. Of course, they know what they're doing. I've got I've got no idea what I'm doing, like booking a tour and stuff, and how to get things working properly, how to get the best like venues, get in touch with the promoters. Yeah. But I mean, everyone that's like booked a show or a tour or whatever, they know how difficult it is to get it right.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest pitfalls, is that people can get screwed on tours. But these guys obviously had genuine interest in you from the start, and there was that personal kind of thing.
Yeah, they've helped so much. I mean, that I would say that's booking tours and shows and stuff is not my strength whatsoever. Yeah, so I'm happy to let someone else do it. And
of course, yeah, there's only so much you can fucking take on, James. You know,
you don't. I mean, you don't want that creeping into your creative thing either. You know, all that stuff.
I mean, yeah, they're the right people to like let do it. They're a reputable company. They represent so many good bands. They can get us more like better opportunities and stuff, bigger opportunities. Just all that. I mean, yeah.
So we'll just do a quick run through of the new album as well, if you don't mind, man.
Yeah.
Get the excitement going. What's the whole? Is there a team running through it? Are you sticking with the whole horror kind of witches and
witches? The
vampires.
Vampire. That's one. It's mostly like kind of witches and the occult. A couple of like historical, like events. Kind of thing.
Lyrically wise, would you spend much time exploring books for that?
Not so much books. I like films and events. I mean, I do take inspiration from like books, but I don't like to like do a retelling of the book. I like to kind of get what the book's about and kind of make my own
interpretation.
So there's a couple film. One of the songs, Beyond the Convent Walls, is based on the film / book play, I guess it was. I think it was a play, or was it a novel? No, it was a novel. What am I on about? The Devils, the Devils of Loudun. The film's got Oliver Reed in it.
Oh yeah, seen that one.
It's but most of it's like historical, like actual true events and stuff. That's the kind of sort of stuff that like influenced me the most. It's just interesting, like how much mental shit has happened. Like,
and how did you decide the title track?
It was just, I thought it was the coolest sounding track, and I thought it kind of worked as a title track. It worked as an album title. Yeah, The Affair of the Poisons. It's interesting. Yeah. What was the background story to that, James? So that's a true story as well. It's like a series of events in 17th century France, where it was like a large investigation conducted during the reign of Louis XIV. There was like a plot. Plots were like discovered, like including possession, witchcraft, child sacrifice, illegal abortions, poisonings, and they were like trying to, within the aristocracy, they were trying to like poison people to gain power, and they try to poison people like that. The king's mistress was like trying to poison a rival to win back the king's favor and stuff like that. And great stuff. Us metals love all that.
Courtly intrigue.
Yeah, so much like shit all going on at one time, and of course it's like, I mean, and you've got like the satanic kind of thing with the black masses and that kind of stuff, the possessions and whatever within the heart of that. So it kind of fit with the Hellripper theme, I guess. Like. Yeah. So, and it is a team as well. I mean, and it's, you'd wonder though, like, there'll always be a few that'll just go that bit further and expect you to live the
the image.
Oh yeah, a lot of people like are really interested. Like, I mean, I don't have like a massive knowledge of
Aleister Crowley and all.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that'll come with time.
Yeah, interesting and stuff. But I don't live that way. I don't live in a dark room with like
spoiler alert.
Just a regular guy.
Yeah, but the stuff just interests me, and I think it fits with the music. So I mean,
totally.
It's fun to sing about. Like,
and I think the thing that comes across as well. The fun aspect of it is really cool. Like,
yeah, I don't want to take it really seriously, if you know what I mean. I take the music seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously because
that would be pointless.
It's just not me. Like it would be playing like a character.
Yeah,
and I can't be bothered doing that.
No. And do you know what? As long as you've got maybe, and I didn't see you live, but like as long as you've got a good stage background, you know, and the imagery.
They've got the goat.
Yeah. When we can, we've got the goat in the background. But yeah, other than that, I try and keep it as simple as possible on stage. Like,
it's pure old school vibes, like, isn't it?
Yeah, it more fits me personally, like my personality. I like it to be as simple as possible. And
the new stuff then is a mixture, still the same trash, kind of black speed metal. It's full on.
Yeah, there's more, I would say, thrash going on in some parts. Like there's a lot more, some different kind of parts. A little bit more of a black metal influence. A little more Merciful Fate, King Diamond at some point. There's a few like mid-tempo riffs that I haven't really explored a lot in the past.
There's one of those on one of the is it the Vampires, the Vampire's Grave one?
Oh, kind of like the Blood Moon Sabbath. Yeah,
kind of
that one
drops into a nice mid-tempo.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like I try to do a few more stuff like that.
That was tasty.
Just to kind of mix it up a bit from, I mean, usually I just go like full speed ahead the whole time, but I try to get a bit more diversity like within the songs and stuff, but it's still
Hellripper.
The same, it's definitely still the same sound, just with a few more elements in it, really.
I just love, because I mean, at 49, my age, I mean, you've ticked all the boxes for me from what I was listening to back early days. It's great, and you know, for someone, I'm just glad that you're in Scotland. You're not too far away from us, and you're fucking nailing this. You know,
it's happening.
It's great, man. I mean, the whole Celtic thing is great, and I mean, what are the chances of you coming over to Ireland for a gig?
I would absolutely love to. I mean, if we get the right opportunity, if things permitted, everyone is free and stuff. Because I mean, we haven't played much shows, to be honest. I mean, I think over the past, when did we start? 2016. I think we've played around 30 to 40 shows, so it's not really much. It's like 10 shows a year. But we are this year we were planning to like ramp that up. We had about 30 to 40 planned for this year alone. Like, but yeah, of course that never happened. So we'll see what happens like next year, like whether things can happen.
What gear do you bring with you as well, James, on stage? Have you much of a setup?
No, not at all. I've got a Marshall JCM 900 head, and I use a Black Star Series 1 2x12, just because they're easier to transport 4x12. And yeah, I don't use any pedals or anything.
Jack.
Straight out of the amp. Keep it simple. Yeah.
So
can you learn a lesson from this, Jack?
I fucking will.
There's just too much to go wrong, especially for me. Like, if there's a way to make something go wrong, I will manage it. So I prefer not to have pedals if I can help it.
Yeah.
Less wires to trip over. Just because that will happen. I get my feet tangled in the wires all the time. So yeah, it's just as simple as I can make it. But But yeah, I think Joseph, our live guitarist, I think he's got quite a few things. Don't ask me what, but I think he's got a few pedals. Clarky on bass as well. He uses like an overdrive pedal, distortion pedal thing. So I think I'm the only one that doesn't use pedals, but
it's good to see too.
Yeah, I'll probably get something at some point, like to help with solos, like guitar leads and stuff. You know, like a EQ boost thing. But I'm not gonna have like a pedal board. It's too confusing for me. I'll end up kicking the wrong pedal, and that's playing like full reverb, full delay, and
that's
clean and stuff like.
That's mad now, because I thought now you'd actually be one, as I call Jack, a pedal freak. You know, I thought you'd be into all that side of things. But live, you're right, man. The less things, the less stuff.
I was like super into pedals and stuff, and super into like gear and stuff, and then as I like started playing shows, I was like, "Fuck this!"
We've been telling James, we've been telling Jack, he's got the best advice. He's got the best advice.
I only used 3 pedals the last time I played. So
is that all?
Give me a break. Yeah.
Jesus, that's impressive. But you did bring the whole fucking pedal board with you.
I still bring all of the pedals with me just in case. Yeah.
So I'm going to leave you go, James McBain of Hellripper. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good luck with the album, man.
Yeah, big time. And we'll really look forward to the album. It's The Fair Poisons. When is it coming out, James?
October 9th.
October 9th. And us two here, we'll do our best, man, to get you to Ireland.
We'll drag you over.
We'll drag you over. We'll get you in a headlock. At some gig, we'll get you in a headlock.
Can I hurt you?
We wouldn't dream of hurting you, man. So you've been listening to Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. Again, big shout out to James from Hellripper, and thanks for coming on the show, and thank you, Jack, as well.